We're at an Air Force base where a test pilot is about to take a new jet up and put it through its paces.
What in blazes? Who's in that plane?
I don't know.
Whoever it is, they fly like an ace. They put the plane through every test it was scheduled for, and the aircraft passes with flying colors. Let's see about this unauthorized pilot.
There's nobody in here. This plane flew the test all by itself.
We've heard of robots taking people's jobs, but test pilot? It's happening all over the world. Machines are operating themselves. And quite efficiently, there hasn't been a single mistake or accident.
Look at that! No one's driving that forklift.
Try another emergency channel. Wow! That tractor's plowing the field all by itself.
This sort of thing has been going on all morning.
The guy in the suit is Mr. Huggins, a liaison with the government, and really, he's just there. He won't do anything of significance. The Super Friends will split up to investigate. Mr. Huggins is hanging with Batman and Robin in the Batmobile.
First, we'll have a talk with that factory foreman. Check out that forklift.
Batman, the factory is the other way.
I know. I turned the wheel left, but the car went to the right. I'll make a U-turn.
Or not. The Batmobile doesn't feel like turning right today.
Holy phantoms! This car has a mind of its own. Calling Superman. Emergency.
Whatever is controlling the other machines is controlling the Batmobile too. But don't worry, Superman is on the scene and he knows what to do.
Having trouble, friends?
Yes.
Yep, he knows just what to do. Sit down and take a load off.
Something's taken control of the Batmobile. It's steering itself.
You can stop it, Superman.
Yes, but I don't think we should. It's my guess this'll take us right to the source of the mystery.
He's right. The car takes them to the gate of a factory that says G.E.E.C. A huge robot lets them through. As usual, they told the kids to stay behind and stay out of trouble.
What's your problem, Wonder Dog?
Strange. No driver.
Permit me to extend an invitation for you to take a ride in the Funmobile.
Where's that voice coming from?
I don't know. Who was driving this thing?
It drives by itself. But don't be afraid. It's perfectly safe.
Enticing children to get into a windowless van. I suppose his next line will be, "Hey kids, you want some candy?"
What's in there?
All sorts of fun things. Television, movies, rock albums, games.
Anything to eat?
Everything you like. Ice cream, candy, popcorn, pastries, cotton candy, peanuts. Please, come in.
Sometimes I hate always being right. They refuse to get into the van. Well done, kids. But the voice says he'll take them to the Super Friends. The kids agree to follow on their bikes.
A voice on a loudspeaker told us to wait here until you arrived.
What's going to happen? And what about this invention?
We'll find out soon, I'm sure. Just relax, kids.
Oh, wow! What a snazzy waiting room.
Those things they're sitting in do look comfortable.
Holy letdowns! This floor is an elevator.
Just relax, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. I'm Professor Goodfellow. It's an honor to meet you all. Please accept my apologies for the little pranks I played today.
He means making all that stuff operate itself. He's behind the whole thing. Or more precisely, his supercomputer is. Say hello to G.E.E.C. Geek.
By remote control, the geek can perform every job that is done by men and women. My purpose is to free mankind of all physical labor, brain work, and responsibility.
You mean no one would have to do any work? That's impossible.
No, that's why I brought you here. To show you it is not impossible.
I can hear everybody asking, what's his real agenda? Take over the world? No, this guy's for real. He wants to donate his computer to the government so it can do exactly what he described, turn us into the people we saw in WALL-E. He thinks this is a good thing. He takes them to look at the computer. Marvin and Wendy are still in those nifty chairs. I have a feeling my back would enjoy one.
Hey, wait for us!
I'm stuck too. Wonder Dog, to the rescue!
At least until I had to do that. We all know the way to get out of one of those is to roll to the side, but this is Marvin. I think that says it. I don't have an explanation for Wendy.
Why do you call it the Geek?
Well, its full name is Goodfellow's Effort Eliminating Computer. G.E.E.C, Geek.
Are you sure that's not a soft C and it's pronounced G.E.E.C? The computer has a division for every aspect of human life, from transportation to delivering food. Geek can control it all, so people don't have to.
The Geek is programmed to handle all business matters. Buying, selling, advertising, filing, typing, bookkeeping.
Fantastic.
These controls can run every factory machine in the land. No need for factory workers.
And what about innovation, invention, progress? Can it come up with something new?
What will people do all day?
Oh, why, just sit home in their geek-built houses, eat geek-prepared meals, and spend the whole day watching movies and sporting events on their geek television sets.
But that means actors and athletes will still have to do their jobs.
No. The actors and athletes won't be real people. They'll be electronic images programmed to go through the motions of a play or a variety show or an athletic event.
So he's also invented AI. Has he invented something to handle ADD? Because I guarantee if you put me in this world he's describing, I'll be so bored I go bonkers within 5 minutes. He can keep his fake world. I'll take the real one with all its faults. At least here I get to do something. And the day I use AI for anything related to my videos or my music will be the day I ask someone to euthanize me because my mind has gone bye-bye. From food brought directly to your mouth to online schooling, his computer handles it all. Humans literally don't have to do anything.
You know something, though? Even if I complain sometimes about homework, I really enjoy school. I'm going to miss going to classes, being with my school friends.
Gentlemen, I think Wendy has just made a very important observation.
Yes, she's let us know she has friends other than us. We must act immediately.
She has shown us the basic fault of the geek. I know you mean well, Professor, but your computer can be a bad thing for people.
That's right. Everybody, even young kids, should have responsibilities.
I agree. It's good for people to work, to use their brains. If they don't, they'll have no purpose in life.
The professor is flabbergasted. He insists the government accept his gift. It's the greatest thing ever.
Professor, I'm afraid I agree with the Super Friends. The government will not involve itself in Project Geek.
All right, then. I'll offer free geek service to the public. Anyone who wants to subscribe can have himself a permanent coffee break.
As much as I'd like to call him a megalomaniac, he's not. He's genuinely trying to do something good. And he's not forcing it on people, he's giving them the option. He doesn't want to rule the world, he just wants to make it better if people want it to be better.
And you can't stop me.
No, we can't. It's not against the law.
But let me remind you, Professor, the geek is just a machine. It has no heart, no soul. If there should be a mechanical breakdown, it could go haywire.
He says impossible. Every safeguard is built in. The machine is even self-repairing. If a tube is starting to burn out, another circuit uses robot arms to replace it. Nobody's asking what happens when it runs out of spare parts. He throws it open to the public, and enough people are subscribing that the world has literally changed overnight.
Look out the window at what used to be a busy downtown street.
Great Neptune. Where is everyone?
Geek subscribers are all at home. Men don't have to go to their jobs anymore. Women don't have to go shopping. The good old geek takes care of everything.
Why is that traffic cop sitting there instead of at home? Maybe the middle of the street is the only place quiet enough for him to read. Marvin is subscribed and so is Wonder Dog, but Wendy refuses. She's going to make the three of them take a walk in the park. Marvin is on board, they just need Wonder Dog.
Wonder Dog, wake up! Wake up, Wonder Dog. We're gonna take a walk.
He already used that to chase a cat away, but Wendy isn't a cat.
I don't think he wants to wake up.
I'll wake him up.
Jeepers, you woke him up all right.
Yeah, I never saw him so awake. Uh-oh.
Marvin was mowing the lawn, so to speak. These gags are genuinely funny. I don't care if you're 7 or 70. They're the kind that endure and keep being funny because they're not only well done, they're universal. Anybody from any walk of life can enjoy them. And it doesn't matter how much technology has changed. Some things are universally recognized, such as push lawnmowers and dog houses. When a show can crank out those kinds of jokes consistently, you know you have the writing team from heaven. They head to the park and rent a rowboat.
Don't worry, Super Marv. I'll do all the rowing. I want to get some exercise anyhow. This is dumb. It's no fun if you can't do your own rowing.
Too many of these automated machines defeat their own purpose for existing. Aquaman has been watching ships and boats wander around, nearly hitting each other, and he's concerned. If anything ever goes wrong with G.E.E.C, it could be a disaster. So far, it's working perfectly. But terrorists exist. What's to stop some from getting into the machine and causing trouble? He has that covered too. While the professor fixes himself a sandwich, or more precisely, G.E.E.C fixes one for him, Wonder Dog will give an unscheduled demonstration of the security system.
Great Scott! Professor, your warning light is flashing.
Oh my, so it is. I must activate the G.E.E.C guards.
Let's get down there fast.
Hey, Professor, that's my dog.
Don't worry, Marvin. I don't think you're going to lose him.
The G.E.E.C guards are big vacuum cleaners that hold the intruder but don't hurt them.
Come, gentlemen. We can leave now. What do you think?
I'm not sure, Robin.
So you see, my friends, nothing can go wrong. Ever.
Obviously, the professor is wrong. If a human built it, something can go wrong. He's also mistaken when he says no intruder can get in there. You'd be amazed what kind of incentive a cheese sandwich can provide. There are lots of buttons, knobs, and switches between him and the food. It's amazing how much those things can look like a staircase from the right angle.
When you subtract 12 from 16, it leaves fourscore and 7 years ago.
Huh?
Our fathers brought forth. Grade history teaches us that America was discovered.
Maybe G.E.E.C isn't as foolproof as they thought. Try another channel.
Lo dolce pizza, il multi-succuti.
If you're hoping to start a new trend in country music, that's not the way to do it.
Prego.
That cowboy is singing opera. Try the opera channel.
I was working on a railroad gang, swinging a hammer to and fro. I looked up to watch that sunset, oh ding dang, I brought that hammer right down on my toe.
Okay, that was some of the best opera I've ever heard. But in his quest for food, our little friend keeps finding himself further and further inside the machinery, and he's not just affecting the television.
That computer never misses. Amazing. Great Scott! It's going to hit that smokestack!
Little Mouse is getting more and more panicky and running anywhere and everywhere, with predictable results.
Great Scott! They're all out of control! No time to lose! Up, up, and away!
Yikes! Everything's going wild!
Let me guess, the vacuum thinks it's a cop and it wants to pull the taxi over for speeding. They're trying to get to the Geek Factory. Batman, Robin, and Wonder Woman are doing the same thing in the Batmobile. Superman is trying to keep order in the sky, while Aquaman tries to keep ships from ramming into icebergs. And each other.
Guard! Open the gate. It's urgent.
Holy punch cards. Remember what Goodfellow said? These robots are programmed to keep people out.
Yes, this time Goodfellow isn't expecting us.
Speaking of which, where is the professor while all this is going on?
Ah, my beautiful geek. It's brought peace and quiet and happiness to the world. Strange. My phone hasn't rung all day. That's good. Perhaps I can take a nice quiet nap for a change.
I don't know why that doesn't surprise me.
Guard, can you get a message through to Professor Goodfellow?
Good. Tell him the Caped Crusaders and Wonder Woman must see him immediately.
Here's the pitch. Bud Harrelson swings. He hits a grounder to the third baseman. There's the throw, and it's 2 outs for the men.
It can't get through the line. They'll have to sneak away and climb the fence.
One of us has to get into that building.
But not you. The professor doesn't like you.
Galloping Galileo, Batman. Professor Goodfellow has thought of everything.
Yes, Robin. He's set up a force field of tremendous strength.
They can't seem to get past the combination of the force field and the robots.
Why don't we call Superman? Nothing can stop him, not even a force field.
No, Robin. This is a job we've got to handle ourselves.
This is a job for Batman.
Where's the robot guard?
Who knows? Maybe the professor cleared out too. We'd better get in there and turn off the geek. Why, it's a force field. Batman once told me about them. We'll never get through it.
How about over it? I'll do one of my super leaps. How's that for a real cool idea?
Fantastic. How high can you jump?
6 or 7 feet.
That fence is at least 9 feet, Marvin.
Of the 6 super friends at the fence, only one of them will think of the obvious.
This problem really requires super brains.
Like mine?
No, like Wonder Dog's.
Hey, what'd he do?
He used his brains. There's no way over that fence, so he went under.
The kids really need to learn that song, or they need to watch The Great Escape a few times.
There's the entrance to the professor's quarters. Come on.
My word! The warning signal! There are intruders in the geek room! I must activate the geek guards!
Well, that's gonna suck. They're vacuums, don't you? Never mind.
Professor? Professor Goodfellow? Marvin, is he in there?
No! He must have gone out of town or something.
You can't find him because he's trying to find you. I'm expecting the long hall with half a dozen doors any minute now.
We'll have to turn the geek off ourselves.
How?
The most effective way would be to have the Batmobile ram into a power pole outside the complex. Those things usually don't have a single master switch because they're not one computer. They're who knows how many computers squashed together into a sort of megazord, so each module needs to be turned off by itself, and quite often the modules need to be turned off in a certain order. And they won't have much time to think about it anyway, because here come the geek guards. Outside, the other 3 have finally come up with a way over the force field and the robots. Yeah, I know. I said only one of them thought of it, okay?
Oh no! We're trapped!
Hold hands!
Wendy, Marvin, get out of the aisle. Climb up.
I'll do a super leap and then pull you 2 up.
Hey, if it works, don't knock it.
They're stopping.
Not for long. Their vacuum pumps are tugging at each other.
I repeat, if it works, don't knock it. Those things don't work. Knock away.
Great blazes. How'd you kids get over the fence?
We didn't. Wonder Dog dug a tunnel under it.
Holy super goops, why didn't we think of that?
Because none of you ever stayed up late and watched a rerun of The Great Escape.
Batman, she told me what's happening outside. I can't believe it.
Everything's topsy-turvy out there, Professor. You've got to shut down the geek. Fast.
Yes, I agree. But I can't.
What?
Why? As a safety precaution, he put the master control switch inside a satellite and sent it up into space.
I wonder how many Geek subscribers realize they signed up for that. If there's a need to use that switch, it means something has gone wrong. But Geek controls the systems to bring it down, so if something's wrong with Geek, he can't bring it down. That's not a security precaution, that's absent-minded turned up to 11. Batman says, I'll call Superman.
No, he mustn't go near it. I didn't even want Superman to tamper with it. So I put a piece of kryptonite inside the satellite.
Superman can stick the professor in a spacesuit and throw him up there to it, as long as he agrees to stay there after he throws the switch. Kryptonite? But Superman says, no problem, I've got this. Stand by, Aquaman.
Ah, a meteor, just what I need. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. A home run.
And as the satellite plunges into the ocean, Aquaman takes up where Superman left off.
Aquaman flips the switch and Geek turns off.
Turning it off hasn't solved our problems. There are vehicles out there flying blind.
A lot of people who were familiar with this painting let out a collective scream when they thought they'd been left behind.
We've got to repair this machine in order to bring everything back under control.
Superman's X-ray vision reveals the mouse.
Cute little thing.
Oh my, the only way we can get him out of there is through a narrow tube. And it's 10 feet long.
No problem. Get a 10-foot piece of string cheese and have him eat his way out.
I know someone who can reach that mouse. Plastic Man.
You're right. I'll be back in a flash with Plastic Man.
Plastic Man was a superhero from the golden age of comics. In the 60s, the character was revived, except that he was the original guy's son. I actually read the comic that revealed that. The character was a spoof. He could turn himself into anything, and as often as not, he bungled things or ran into some absurd slapstick situation. At its heart, Plastic Man was a humor comic. That's especially true of the 60s revival. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but a typical story title was Dr. Dome's Dame of Doom. How goofy will he be here?
This narrow tube curves this way and that, Plastic Man. In and around the machinery. Do you think you could reach the mouse?
That's not the problem. I don't want to hurt the mouse. Superman, will you watch with your X-ray vision and tell me when my hand is near it?
Answer, he won't. He's playing it straight. My biggest disappointment with the series so far. As I said, this guy was the original Eel O'Brien's son. When he was telling the story, he mentioned how O'Brien settled down, got married, and soon they had him. He was normal, maybe a little too normal. That comic gave me a wonderful nickname for one of my daughters who isn't known for her upper body strength. O'Brien's wife caught him tugging on the baby's arm one day to see if he inherited any of the plasticness. She said, "Stop doing that. Do you want him to grow up to be a fudge muscle like you?"
Watch it, PM. There's a hot tube up ahead.
Oops, you were right, SM.
Easy now. You're in the booster chamber. Move forward slowly, a little to the right. Poor thing's scared. He's in the corner.
I'm gonna keep him as a pet.
You can name him Megabyte. So how did the son become like the father? As he told it, O'Brien kept a bottle of the acid that changed his life on the fireplace mantel. One day his son drank it. O'Brien said, "You drank that horrible stuff?" The kid said, "Not so horrible. Me put chocolate syrup in it first." It came up because O'Brien had gone back to crime and everybody was blaming the son. He explained that the guy doing all this was his father. His sidekick said, "I didn't know you had a father." Plastic Man answered, "Most people do, you know." This was the Plastic Man I knew.
Everyone out. Wonder Woman and I have a job to do. With lightning speed, we've got to set all these controls back to normal.
Finished. Finished. Now let's bring the world back to normal.
Aquaman, everything is A-OK. Turn the geek on for 10 minutes.
Unfortunately, while they were talking about it, enough damage happened that development of the internet was postponed by 75 years.
Super friends, you were right. I must admit that geek life was pretty dull. I like it better the other way, when the streets were full of interesting people, all busy going to work, shopping, building things.
That's right, Professor. Human beings can't be happy unless they have something to do.
I wouldn't be able to stand it. I'm a musician. We can't not make music in some way. My wife is a painter. My daughter is a poet. 2 of my daughters are stained glass artists. We have to create. It's part of our wiring. Any artist in any field will tell you the same thing. He didn't think about us. Every type A workaholic would be running laps around their living room just to burn off the driving energy. I'm not sure who exactly he thought this was for, but he forgot about a lot of us.
We learned that a lot of geek families were beginning to get on each other's nerves.
Yeah, just imagine if people were forced to live like that for an extended period of time because of a disease or something. Not fun. The professor has seen the light. He'll dismantle Geek and use the parts to build that ever-popular better mousetrap. The one he's using now obviously doesn't work. Thing is thinking. We all know the best, okay, such as Puss. Aquaman is, those things don't nerve. How good grief. You're being very distracted with your cuteness, you know that?